Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rūpa Kada Mahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rūpam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat krupatamaham vande Shri Guru Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Lord Chaitanya, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. So here we are in chapter 19th of MadhyaLila from Chaitanya Charitamrta. The chapter title is Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu Instructs Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī. So in the last session we saw that how Rūpa Gosvāmī along with his brother, he had come to see Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, and this was a time when we also discussed that how Sanatan Goswami was being arrested because he was secretly organizing these programs with the Vaishnavas where he was relishing Srimad Bhagavatam. So he was arrested, he was in the jail. We also heard about how Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī distributed his wealth. So that gives us some idea as in how can we plan. So he gave off 50% for the charitable causes, Krishna conscious causes, 25% he gave to his relatives, and 25% he saved for the contingencies because he was aware that they were so close to Nawabs, and when they would be leaving their prescribed duties from the government official, then there can be some problem. We also heard that how he requested Sanatan Goswami, he informed that I have deposited such money, the 25% of his wealth he has deposited, and so he can withdraw that and somehow find his way out of the jail. And when he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so Mahaprabhu, though he was sitting far, far away, and yet he confirmed that by this time Sanatan has already been released from the prison. So all this we have discussed, and now today we will discuss from verse number 61 to, let's say, where Krishna takes us. So first section is from verse 61 to 76. Shri Vallabh Bhatt meets Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. से काले वल्लभ भट्ट रहे आडिल ग्रामे महाप्रभु आइला शुनी आइला तांड्र स्थाने. At that time, Shri Vallabh Bhatt was staying at Adail Gram. And when he heard Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has arrived, he went to his place to see him. So now this Vallabh Bhatt is none other than Shripad Vallabhacharya, who is the most prominent Acharya of the Vishnu sect. So this particular amazing devotee and a learned scholar, he was also a devout follower and an admirer of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when the news reached that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in a neighboring place, so Vallabh Bhatt actually goes to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Teho dandavat koila prabhu koila alingana Dui jane Krishna kotha hoila katakshana. Vallabh Bhattacharya offered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu his obeisances, and the Lord embraced him. After that, they discussed topics about Krishna for some time. So this is what happens when the devotees meet. They meet, they greet, and then they glorify the Supreme Lord. So here we see that Vallabh Bhattacharya and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whoever he was meeting, he was only talking about Krishna. And Vallabh Bhattacharya himself was such a wonderful devotee, so he was also relishing the same. Krishna kathai prabhur maha prema utha lila bhattera sankoche prabhu samvaran koila. So what is happening is, when they are discussing the pastimes of Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt great ecstatic love. So this is the outcome, my dear devotees, when we discuss Krishna Lila. What happens is that ecstatic love for Krishna, which is in somewhere in our heart, but it is not so, upfront. It is in a dormant state. So that is awakened by discussing Krishna Katha and by discussing Chaitanya Charitamrta. So like after the session, all of us, we share our realizations and we discuss that how we were feeling as if we were present there and witnessing all these pastimes in front of our eyes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this time with Vallabh Bhatt. So we can actually experience all that, and we also experience a different type of transcendental emotions within us. So what is happening is, because we are absorbing our consciousness in Krishna Katha, so that is the outcome. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt great ecstatic love when they began discussing, but Bhattera Sankoche Prabhu Samvaran Korila. So Lord checked his feeling. Why? Because he was having some sankoch. He was feeling a little shy, because this is for the first time he was meeting Vallabh Bhatt, and he did not want to show that how he was feeling. So he was trying to hide it away from him. Antare gaur gaur prem nahe samvarana देखी चमत्कार होइला Vallabh Bhattir mana. Although the Lord restrained himself externally, ecstatic love raged within. There was no checking that. Vallabh Bhatt was astonished to detect this. So Vallabh Bhatt was completely astonished, and Mahaprabhu was trying to hold and he was not able to hold. So a very mundane example, like sometime when we are watching something, let's say some movie or something, and we are emotionally very turbulent, and the tear starts rolling, and we try to hide it so that others don't see, otherwise what others would feel. So, it's of course a very, very mundane example. But then, he was experiencing was completely transcendental. So he was trying to hide it, but he could not control it. Tabe Bhatt Mahaprabhu re nimantran koila Mahaprabhu dui bhai tahare milaila. Thereafter, Vallabh Bhatt invited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for lunch, and the Lord introduced the brothers Rupa and Vallabha to him. So we remember Rupa and Vallabh has come to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu introduced all of them. So Vallabh Bhatt was introduced to Rupa and Vallabha. Dui bhai dura hoite bhumite padiya, bhatte dandavata koila ati dinahana. And now what is happening is, Dui bhai dura hoite bhumite podila. At a distance, they fell on the ground. So they did not come close to Vallabh Bhatt. From a distance, both brothers Rupa and Sri Vallabha fell on the ground and offered obeisances to Vallabh Bhatt with great humility. Why they did so will be explained in the following verses. Bhattamili bare yaya dohe palai dure asprishyat pamara muni nachuni hamore. When Vallabh Bhattacharya walked toward them, they ran away to a more distant place. Rupa Gosvāmī said, I am untouchable and most sinful. Please do not touch me. Nachuni hamore. Do not touch me. Why? Because I am contaminated. I am fallen. I am sinful. I am untouchable. Though they were born in the Brahmin family, but they were considering themselves like this because they had worked for a very long time under the Muslim government. And at that time, if you work for Muslim, the Hindus of the society and especially the Brahmanas would treat you like one of them, like the Muslims. So that is why they were saying that we are untouchable, we are sinful, because we have associated with people who commit all types of sin. So please do not touch me. Bhattera vismaya hoila prabhur harshamana bhattere kohila prabhu tanra vivarana. Vallabh Bhattacharya was very much surprised at this. Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, however, was very pleased and he therefore spoke to him this description of Rupa Gosvāmī. So Vallabh Bhattacharya could not comprehend this because Chaitanya Mahāprabhu had introduced, so he was understanding that they are the devotees of the Lord, but they were telling that we are untouchable. Iho na sparshiha iho jati atihina Vaidik yagik tumi kulina pravina. Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu said, don't touch him for he belongs to a very low caste. You are a follower of Vedic principles and are a well-experienced performer of many sacrifices. You also belong to the aristocracy. So Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, on one side, he is glorifying the position and the prestige of Sri Vallabh Bhatt. So what he is telling that one, you follow the Vedas very strictly. Two, you have performed so many sacrifices also. So you are the follower of Vedic principles, you are the performer of sacrifices, and you also come from an aristocratic background. So these are your three amazing qualities, whereas these people, they belong to a very low caste. Duhar mukhe nirantar Krishna naam shuni Bhatt kahe prabhu rakhichu ingit bhangi jani. Hearing the holy name constantly vibrated by the two brothers, Vallabh Bhattacharya could understand the hints of Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu. So actually Chaitanya Mahāprabhu was trying to bring forth a very, very important point. The mercy of Chaitanya Mahāprabhu and the mercy of Supreme Lord Krishna is not limited to a particular caste, to a particular sect. It does not get constricted that if you are from a low caste, then you cannot get that. So Chaitanya Mahāprabhu was trying to bring out the point because here are the two brothers who were standing and they were constantly chanting Krishna, 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 Krishna. And Vallabh Bhattacharya, because he was following too many Vedic rules and regulations. So has Vallabh Bhattacharya forgotten the value of devotion in comparison to Vedic rules and regulation? That is what Chaitanya Mahāprabhu was sort of bringing out here. Duhar mukhe Krishna nama koriche nartana ei dui adham nahe haye sarvottama. And Vallabh Bhattacharya completely excelled in that test. Why? Because he's saying that these two brothers are constantly chanting the holy name of Krishna. How can they be untouchable? On the contrary, they are Sarvottam, they are the most exalted. Vallabh Bhattacharya then recited the following verse. My dear Lord, one who always keeps your holy name on his tongue becomes greater than an initiated Brahman. Although he may be born in a family of dog-eaters and may therefore by material calculation be the lowest among men, he is still glorious. This is the wonderful effect of chanting the holy name of the Lord. It is therefore concluded that one who chants the holy name of the Lord should be understood to have performed all kinds of austerities and great sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas. He has already taken his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. He has studied all the Vedas and is actually an Aryan. So Vallabh Bhattacharya recited this beautiful verse glorifying the position of a devotee and how the devotee is far superior than a Brahmana who is initiated also. He's telling that the devotee, even if he is born in the family of a dog eater, even if he is the lowest, yet he is glorious. And what is that glory about the devotee? That he is chanting the holy names of Krishna. So just by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, one has to be understood to have performed all kinds of austerities and great sacrifices that are mentioned in the Vedas. Not only that, it is understood that he has taken bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. So he doesn't need to go to holy places. Just by chanting, I can purify my consciousness so much so that I get the effect of taking bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. I get the result of studying all the Vedas. I get the result of performing all the sacrifices and austerities. Shuni Mahaprabhu tanre bahu prashma shila prema vishtahana shloka padite lagila. Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu was very pleased to hear Vallabh Bhatt quoting from Shastra about the position of a devotee. The Lord praised him personally and feeling ecstatic love of Godhead began to quote many verses from Shastras. So now Chaitanya Mahāprabhu sort of accepted Vallabh Bhatt in the inner core of his heart. And he understood his position, and then Lord himself started quoting various verses. Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu said, a person who has the pure characteristics of a Brahmana due to devotional service, which is like a blazing fire burning to ashes all the sinful reactions of past lives, is certainly saved from the consequences of sinful acts, such as taking birth in a lower family. Even though he may be born in a family of dog-eaters, he is recognized by learned scholars. But although a person may be a learned scholar in Vedic knowledge, he is not recognized if he is an atheist. So now, in this verse, the comparison is there that the devotional service is like a blazing fire. So when there is a fire, it burns everything around. So similarly, this blazing fire, what is it burning? It is burning one's all sinful reactions. So whatever sins I have committed in the past, I may remember, I may not remember, but everything is burnt into the ashes. How? By being properly situated in devotional service. Bhagavat bhakti hi nasya jateh shastram japastapah apranyasya dehasya mandanam lokaranjanam. For a person devoid of devotional service, birth in a great family or nation, knowledge of the revealed scriptures, performance of austerities and penance, and chanting of Vedic mantras are all like ornaments on a dead body. Such ornaments simply serve the concocted pleasures of the general populace. So if a person has taken a very high birth or he has a very powerful position, but if a person is not following the path of devotional service, then everything, it's like decoration on the dead body. So if there is a dead body, no matter how much we decorate that body, but then we ultimately understand that this body is useless, and in some time we would burn or bury that body. So that is how, if a person is not performing devotional service, so no matter how well read he is, how powerful he is, how qualified he is, how much penance and austerity he is performing, but ultimately he is completely useless. प्रभुर प्रेमावेश आर प्रभाव भक्ति सार सौंदर्यादि देखी भट्टेर होइला चमत्कार. When he saw the Lord's ecstatic love, Vallabh Bhattacharya was certainly very much astonished. He was also astonished by the Lord's knowledge of the essence of devotional service as well as by his personal beauty and influence. So now he will invite Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his own village, Adaila Gram. So Lord Chaitanya visits Adaila Gram. सगणे प्रभु रे भट्टे नौका ते चढ़ाना भिक्ख दीत निज घरे चलिला लाना. Vallabh Bhattacharya then put Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates aboard a boat and took them to his own place to offer them lunch. So they were very close to his place. So he invited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa and Vallabha and the servant, all of them, to his home for lunch. Yamunar jala dekhi chikkad shamala prema veshe Mahaprabhu hoila vihvala. While crossing the river Yamuna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the glossy black water and was immediately bewildered with ecstatic love. So Yamuna, unlike Ganga, it is dark complexioned. The water of Yamuna is darkish. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because they were going in the boat in the river Yamuna, so when he saw this black water, he was so full of ecstatic love. He started remembering Krishna and his pastimes in Yamuna. Hunkar kori Yamunara jale dila jhapa Prabhu dekhi sabar mone hoila bhaya kapa. Indeed, as soon as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the river Yamuna, what did he do? Jale dila jhapa. He immediately made a great sound and jumped into the water. Everyone was filled with fear and trembling to see this. So they were all very scared because, imagine we are all going in a boat and suddenly one person jumps in the river. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately jumped and they didn't know what has happened and what to do. Aste vyaste sobe dhari prabhu re uthaila naukara upare prabhu nachite lagila. They all hastily grabbed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and pulled him over out of the water. Once on the boat's platform, the Lord began to dance. Hari Hari. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to dance there on the boat because he is so much captivated by Krishna Prem. Mahaprabhur bhare nauka kore talamala dubite lagile nauka jhalak bhare jala. Due to Lord's heavy weight, the boat began to tilt. So now Mahaprabhu was dancing back and forth, and because of his weight, the boat started, it's what it says, nauka kare talamala. So it is like tilting. It began filling up with water and so was on the verge of sinking. So when it would tilt on one side, the water started getting into the boat and started to sink. So that was happening when Gaura Chandra is dancing. यद्यपि भटेर आगे प्रभु धैर्य हैला मन दुर्वार उद्भत प्रेमा नहे संवरण. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tried to restrain himself as far as possible before Vallabhacharya, but although he tried to keep calm, his ecstatic love could not be checked. So he was trying to control himself, but he could not. देश पात्र देखी महाप्रभु धैर्य होइला आड़ाइलेर घाट नौका आसी उत्तरीला. Seeing the circumstances, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finally became calm, so that the boat was able to reach the shore of Adaila and land there. So everyone was anxious and they were hoping that let us at least reach the land. So somehow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, understanding that his devotees were anxious, he calmed down and they finally reached the place. Bhaye bhatt sange rahe madhya karana nij grihe anil prabhu re sangite lana. Fearing the Lord's welfare, Vallabh Bhattacharya stayed in his association. After arranging for his bath, the Bhattacharya took the Lord to his own house. So by now Vallabh Bhattacharya has understood that what type of transcendental emotion Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is experiencing. And he was simultaneously a little scared that nothing should happen to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is why he decided that he'll be there with him. So after arranging for the bath, they went to the house of Vallabh Bhattacharya. आनंदित हना भट्टा दिला दिव्य स्थाना आपने करीला प्रभुर पाद प्रक्षालना. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived at his home, Vallabh Bhattacharya, being greatly pleased, offered the Lord a nice sitting place and personally washed his feet. So this was the culture, and this is the ideal tradition, that a sannyasi, and he is not only a sannyasi, he is the Lord himself. So he is visiting. So then we wash the feet of the devotee. Savamshe se jala mastake dharila nutan kaupina bahir vasaparaila. Vallabh Bhattacharya and his whole family then sprinkle that water over their heads. So the water which has washed the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is the real Abhishek water. So they have washed the feet and they sprinkle that over their head. And then they offered the new underwear and outer garments. So because Mahaprabhu was all wet, he jumped in Yamuna. So he was all wet, and then he came back, he took bath, and then he changed in fresh clothes. Gandha pushpa dhupa deepe mahapuja koila Bhattacharya manya kori pak karaila. Vallabhacharya worshipped the Lord with great pomp, offering scents, incense, flowers and lamb. And with great respect, he induced Balbhadra Bhattacharya, the Lord's cook, to cook. So if we remember, Balbhadra Bhattacharya was accompanying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Vrindavan. So he was supposed to cook for the Lord. So he requested Balbhadra Bhattacharya to cook as per the Lord's liking. Bhikha karaila prabhure sasneha yatane Rūpa Gosai dui bhaiye karaile bhojana. Thus Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was offered lunch with great care and affection. The brothers Rūpa Gosvāmī and Sri Vallabha were also offered food. Bhattacharya Shri Rūpe de yoilai avashesha Tobe sei prasada Krishna dasa paila shesha. Vallabh Bhattacharya first offered the remnants of the Lord's food to Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī and then to Krishnadas. So Krishnadas was the servant and Balbhadra Bhattacharya was the Brahmana assistant or the cook who has travelled with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all the way from Jagannath Puri to Vrindavan, and now they are in Adaila Gram. So all these places they are accompanying. So he offered food to all of them. मुखवास दिया प्रभु रे करैला शयना आपने भटकरेना प्रभुर पाद संवाहना. The Lord was then given spices to purify his mouth. So mukhvas, mouth freshener. So Lord was given mouth freshener, and afterwards he was made to rest, and Vallabh Bhattacharya personally massaged the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. प्रभु पाठाइला तानरे करिते भोजने भोजन करी आइला ते हो प्रभुर चरणे. While Vallabh Bhattacharya was massaging him, the Lord asked him to go take prasadam. After taking prasadam, he returned to the lotus feet of the Lord. Hena kale aila Raghupati upadhyaya Tiruhita Pandit Bada Vaishnav Mahashaya. So now there is another great personality who's coming up. So at that time, what is his name? Raghupati Upadhyay. So at that time, Raghupati Upadhyay of Tiruhita district arrived. He was a very learned scholar, a great devotee, and a respectable gentleman. So this personality, this great exalted Vaishnava, this great philosopher, Raghupati Upadhyay. So he was staying in this Tiruhita district, And when the news reached him, so he came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Asite ho koila prabhur charan vandana, Krishna mati rahu boli prabhur vachana. Raghupati Upadhyay first offered his respects to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Lord gave him his blessing, saying, always stay in Krishna consciousness. Krishna mati rahu, or always stay in Krishna consciousness. So this is the blessings which we shall be seeking when we are submitting our heartfelt obeisances and prayers to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is what we want. This is what will bring us to perfection, that we reach our consciousness reaches at a state where we are always Krishna conscious. Shuni anandita hoila upadhyayir mana, Prabhu tanre kohila kaha Krishnera varnana. Raghupati Upadhyay was very pleased to hear the Lord's blessings. The Lord then asked him to describe Krishna. So it seems that the Lord was also aware of this devotee Raghupati Upadhyay. So that is why the Lord is asking him to glorify Krishna or to describe Krishna. Nijakrita Krishna Lila Shloka Padila, Shuni Mahaprabhur Maha Prema Vesha Hoila. When Raghupati Upadhyay was requested to describe Krishna, he began to recite some verses he had personally composed about Krishna's pastimes. Hearing those verses, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was overwhelmed with ecstatic love. Shrutim apare smritim itare bharatam, anye bhajantu bhava bhitaha, aham ihanandam vande yasya linde Param Brahma. So this verse, which is recited by Raghupati Upadhyay now, later on it was incorporated in MadhyaLila when Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī wrote MadhyaLila. So what's the meaning of this? Those who are afraid of material existence worship the Vedic literature. Some worship Smriti, the corollaries to the Vedic literature, and other worship the Mahabharata. As far as I am concerned, I worship Krishna's father, Maharaj Nanda, in whose courtyard the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, is playing. So Raghupati Upadhyay is describing that people who are afraid of material life, who are scared of material world, or in other words, who are looking for happiness in this material world, or who want to get out of this material world. So in both the cases, they have some desire which is self-centered. So those people, they may worship Smriti or Shruti. They may worship the Vedic literature or the Granth like Mahabharata, etc. But what do I worship? He's telling, I worship Krishna's father. Why do I worship Krishna's father? How fortunate is this Nanda Maharaj, in whose courtyard the Supreme Lord, the Absolute Truth, He's playing. He's getting scared. He's running here and there. He's giving so much of joy to his parents. So all that is happening. These MadhyaLila, Nanda Baba is experiencing. So he's telling, so I worship Krishna's father, Maharaj Nanda. Aage kaha prabhu vakye upadhyay kohila, Raghupati Upadhyaya Namaskar Koila. When Raghupati Upadhyay was requested by the Lord to recite more, he immediately offered his respects to the Lord and granted his request. Kam prati kathyitum ishe samprati kova pratitim ayatu gopati tanya kunje gopavadhuti vitam brahma. To whom can I speak who believe me when I say that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is hunting the gopis in the bushes by the banks of river Yamuna? In this way, the Lord demonstrates his pastimes. So he's telling, who will believe me? If I were to tell you that he's the supreme proprietor of everything that exists, he's the creator, maintainer, destroyer, he's the complete controller, he is the ultimate enjoyer, he is that Brahma, he is that Paramatma, he is that Bhagwan, and what is he doing? He's running behind the bushes and trying to locate where the gopis are hiding. So he's saying, who will believe that this personality is the Supreme Lord? Prabhu kahin kahate ho, pade Krishna Lila, prema veshe prabhur deha, mana aloyaila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested Raghupati Upadhyaya to continue speaking about the pastimes of Sri Krishna. Thus the Lord was absorbed in ecstatic love and his mind and body slackened. Prema dekhi upadhyayer hoila chamatkara, manush nahi ho Krishna korila nirdhara. When Raghupati Upadhyaya saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic symptoms, he decided the Lord was not a human being but Krishna himself. So just by these symptoms, just like how when we taste one mango and we can conclude about all the mangoes of that tree, or just about how we check one grain of rice and we can conclude whether the entire pot of rice is cooked. So similarly, Raghupati Upadhyaya, he was observing the symptoms, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was exhibiting when he was describing Krishna. And on that basis, he concluded that he is no ordinary person. He is Supreme Lord himself. Prabhu kahe upadhyaya shreshta manakaya syamameva param rupam kahe upadhyaya. So just like how we discussed that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was having questions with Ramananda Rai. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking questions with Raghupati Upadhyaya. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Raghupati Upadhyaya, according to your decision, who is the foremost being? And Raghupati Upadhyaya replied, Lord Shyam Sundar is the supreme form. Shyamam evam param rupam kahe Upadhyaya. Shyama rupir vasasthana shreshta manakaya. Puri Madhupuri Vara Kahe Upadhyaya. Of all Krishna's abode, which do you think is the best? Madhupuri or Mathura Dham is certainly the best. So, Krishna manifests his pastime in various places, but which one is the best? And Raghupati Upadhyaya is telling Mathura Dham. Balye Paugand Kaishor Shrestha Manakaya. Vaya Kaishorakam Dhyayam Kahe Upadhyaya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, of the three ages of Krishna known as childhood, boyhood and fresh youth, which do you consider best? Raghupati Upadhyaya replied, fresh youth is the best age. Rasagana Madhye Tumi Shrestha Manakaya. Adya eva paro rasa kahe upadhyaya. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, among all the mellows, which do you consider best? So I hope we all remember 5 mellows or 5 rasas. So one is neutrality, then dasyam or servitude, then there is friendship, then there is vatsalya or parental love, and then the 5th one is madhurya. And Raghupati Upadhyaya, what is he replying? The mellow of conjugal love is supermost, or madhurya is the topmost. Prabhu kahe bhala tatva shikha lila more, eta boli shloka pade gada gada sware. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, you have certainly given first class conclusions. After saying this, he began to recite the full verse in a faltering voice. Shyamam eva param rupam puri madhu puri vara vayah kaishorakam dhyayam adya eva paro rasaha. The form of Shyam Sundar is the supreme form. The city of Mathura is the supreme abode. Lord Krishna's fresh youth should always be meditated upon, and the mellow of conjugal love is the supreme mellow. So this is everything what they have just discussed. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu combined in one shloka, and we find that Rupa Gosvāmī was witnessing all this. So when he is writing MadhyaLila, so he has mentioned this shloka also. So actually Rupa Gosvāmī is directly receiving the instructions and teachings from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu now. Prema veshe prabhu tanre koila alingana Prema mattahana teho kore nanatana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then embraced Raghupati Upadhyay in ecstatic love. Raghupati Upadhyay also was overwhelmed by love, and he began to dance. So how overwhelmed Raghupati would be. Imagine Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is personally embracing him, and at such a time when he is full of ecstatic love. So this love is instantly transferred to the heart of Raghupati Upadhyay, and he also started exhibiting those transcendental symptoms. देखि वल्लभ भट्ट मने चमत्कार हइला, दुई पुत्र आनी प्रभुर चरणे पड़िला. Vallabh Bhattacharya was struck with wonder to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Raghupati Upadhyay dance. He even brought forward his two sons and made them fall down at the Lord's lotus feet. So Vallabh Bhattacharya was extremely happy to see all this. And he brings his two sons. Prabhu dekhi bare gramer sab loka aila, Prabhu darshane sabe Krishna bhakta hoila. Upon hearing that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had arrived, all the villagers went to see him, and simply by seeing him, they all became devotees of Krishna. So that transformational campaign is on, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just by giving his glance, he makes everyone Krishna conscious. Brahmana sakal karena prabhur nimantrana, Vallabh bhatt tansa bare karena nivarana. All the Brahmanas of the village were eager to extend invitations to the Lord, but Vallabh Bhattacharya forbade them to do so. So they all wanted to invite Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but Vallabh Bhattacharya stopped them. Premunmade pade gosai MadhyaLila19 prayage chalaiba iha nadiba rohite. Vallabh Bhatt then decided not to keep Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at MadhyaLila because the Lord had jumped into the river Yamuna in ecstatic love. Therefore, he decided to bring him to Prayag. So Vallabh Bhattacharya was being very careful. So out of his affection, he was very, very careful about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so he thought that here this MadhyaLila gram is surrounded by river Yamuna, which is bringing so much of ecstasy in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that may not be safe for him. So he decided to take him to Prayag. Yanra ichha prayage yana koribe nimantrana, eta boli prabhu lana korila gamana. Vallabh Bhatta said, if anyone likes, he can go to Prayag and extend invitations to the Lord. In this way, he took the Lord with him and departed for Prayag. So these Brahmanas, they wanted to invite Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here, but Vallabh Bhatt said that if you want to invite, come to Prayag. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going there, so you can invite them there. Ganga pathe Mahaprabhir naukate vasana, Prayage aila bhatta gosairalana. Vallabh Bhattacharya avoided the river Yamuna, putting the Lord on a boat in the rivers. He went with him to Prayag. So the next section, Lord Chaitanya's mercy on Rupa and Sanatan, verse number 114 to 134. Loka bhida bhaye prabhu dashashvame dhyana, Rupa Gosaira Shikha Karana Shakti Sanchariya. Due to the great crowds in Prayag, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to a place called Dashashvamedh Ghat. It was there that Lord instructed Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī and empowered him in the philosophy of devotional service. So here there is a very important word which says Shakti Sanchariya. So Shakti Sanchariya means he is empowering. He gave his own Shakti. He invested his own power and own potency in Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī through those philosophy, through those instructions. So Prayag was crowded. They went to Dashashvamedh Ghat, which was comparatively secluded. And there peacefully Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly instructed Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī. And we are so fortunate that through the medium of the Guru Shishya Parampara, through Krishnadas Kaviraj and through Srila Prabhupada, we would also hear those instructions which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Rupa Goswami in a nutshell. Krishna Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, Rasa Tattva Pranta, Sab Śrīla Prabhu, Bhagavata Siddhanta. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught Sri Rupa Goswami the ultimate limit of the truth about Lord Krishna, which means Krishna Tattva, the truth about devotional service or Bhakti Tattva, and the truth about transcendental mellows culminating in conjugal love between Shri Shri Radha and Krishna, or Rasa Tattva. So three things: Krishna Tattva, who is the Supreme Lord; Bhakti Tattva, what is the process to attain the Supreme Lord; and Rasa Tattva, what is the highest destination one can attain in by following this process. So Sab Śrīla Prabhu Bhagavat Siddhanta. Finally, he told Rupa Goswami about the ultimate conclusions of Srimad Bhagavatam. Ramananda Pasheyata Siddhanta Shunila Rupik Rupa Karitaha Sab Sancharila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught Rupa Goswami all the conclusions he had heard from Ramananda Rai and duly empowered him so that he could understand them. So we have already discussed this in detail, the conversation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with Ramananda Rai. So all that was discussed there, he is giving to Rupa Goswami so that he becomes empowered. Shri Rupa Hrudaye Prabhu Shakti Sancharila Sarva Tattva Nirupane Pravina Karila. By entering the heart of Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered him to ascertain properly the conclusions of all truths. He made him an experienced devotee whose decisions correctly agreed with the verdicts of the disciplic succession. Thus, Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī was personally empowered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here again we see Shakti Sancharila. It is mentioned that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally empowering Rupa Goswami, and how he is doing. Shri Rupa Hridaya Prabhu. Hridaya means heart. He actually entered into the heart of Rupa Goswami. So he gave these instructions which was captured by the heart of Rupa Goswami, and Rupa Goswami became that one person who could actually understand the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is why we recite in Mangalacharan Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam. So this is Rupa Goswami who can understand the Manobhishtam, the deep desires in the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rupa Goswami could understand. And how? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is empowering him. Shakti Sancharila. Shivananda Senera Putra Kavi Karnapura Rupe Ramilan Swagranthe Lekhayi Chen Prachura. In his book Chaitanya Chandrodaya, Kavi Karnapur, the son of Shivananda Sen, has elaborately described the meeting between Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I hope you all remember Shivananda Sen. He was the yatra organizer. So he was the one devotee who would bring all the devotees from Bengal every year to Jagannath Puri, so that they could spend 4 months here, Chaturmas period here. And Shivanand was the one who would make all their travel arrangement, their stay arrangement, their prasadam arrangement, their toll arrangement, their boat arrangement. So everything was arranged by Shivananda Sen. And his son was Kavi Karnapur. So he has written this book, Chaitanya Chandrodaya. And Krishnadas Kaviraj is telling here that how in Chaitanya Chandrodaya it is described in detail about the meeting of Rupa Goswami and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kalena Vrindavan Keli Varta Lupteti Tam Khaya Payitum Vishishya Kripamritena Bhishishya Devas Tatraiva Rupam Cha Sanatanam Cha. In the course of time, the transcendental news of Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan was almost lost. To enunciate explicitly those transcendental pastimes, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī and Sanatan Goswami with the nectar of his mercy to carry out this work in Vrindavan. So now this is a very specific thing which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted Rupa Gosvāmī to accomplish. So Krishna has disappeared almost 5,000 years ago. And in that due course of time, all the important and significant places of Vrindavan were lost. So no one actually knew which place was where was Radha Kund, Sham Kund, where was all these holy and important places, Nidhivan, Seva Kunj, etc. Everything was missing. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted Rupa and Sanatan to find out those places, and that is why he empowered them and he gave them permission to stay in Vrindavan and find out those places. From the very beginning, Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī was deeply attracted by the transcendental qualities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus, he was permanently relieved from family life. Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī and his younger brother Vallabh were blessed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although the Lord was transcendentally situated in his transcendental eternal form at Prayag, he told Rupa Gosvāmī about transcendental ecstatic love of Krishna. The Lord then embraced him very fondly and bestowed all his mercy upon him. So actually, in one of the sessions, we discussed in detail as how Rupa Gosvāmī was super qualified, how he was holding a very important managerial administrative post in the government, in the Mughal government, and how he was well read in Vedic scriptures, how he knew various languages, how he has seen different types of people, and how he had these dealings with the aristocrats also. So all these things together, and topping on the cake, or the icing on the cake, was that he is the devotee of Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So all these things made him qualified to understand and to receive the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him all the necessary instruction, taught him well, embraced him, and gave all his mercy to Rupa Gosvāmī. Priya Swarupe Daita Swarupe Prema Swarupe Sahajabhirupe Nijanurupe Prabhure Karupe Tatanarupe Swavilasarupe. So in this one verse, 8 times the word Rupa is mentioned. And what does this verse mean? Indeed, Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī, whose very dear friend was Swarup Damodar, was 1. The exact replica of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. 2. He was very, very dear to Lord. 3. Being the embodiment of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic love. 4. Rupa Gosvāmī was naturally very beautiful. 5th, he very carefully followed the principles enunciated by the Lord. And 6th, he was competent person to explain properly the pastimes of Lord Krishna. 7. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expanded his mercy to Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī just so he could 8th, render service by writing transcendental literatures. So this is a beautiful verse glorifying Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī, and that glorifying that source of Rupa Gosvāmī from whom he receives all the benedictions. So it is mentioned that because of his attachment, surrender, devotion, he had actually become the exact replica of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He could completely understand the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He knew what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission was, his mood was, and he was one in mood and mission with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he was exact replica, and that was the reason he was very, very dear to the Lord. So he was the embodiment of ecstatic love. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we hear through this word, the Shabda Brahman, we can see also that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was, exhibiting or manifesting these ecstatic love. And this ecstatic love, if had to take the form of a person, then that person is Rupa Gosvāmī. And that's why he was very beautiful. Also, his beauty lies in the fact that he was very careful to follow all the injunctions which were laid by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was very competent, and hence he received this mercy to write the transcendental literature. Mate karna pura likhe sthane sthane Prabhu Krupa Koila Yaiche Rupa Sanatane. The characteristics of Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī have thus been described in various places by the poet Kavi Karnapur. An account has also been given of how Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu bestowed his causeless mercy upon Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī and Śrīla Sanatana Gosvāmī. Mahaprabhuryat bada bada bhakta matra Rupa Sanatan sabara kripa gaurav patra. Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī and Sanatana Gosvāmī were the objects of love and honor for all the great stalwart devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu. Ke hayadi deshe yaya dekhi vrindavana Tanre prashna karen prabhur parishad gana. If someone returned to his country after seeing Vrindavan, the associates of the Lord would ask him questions. Kahata ha koiche rahe rupa sanatana, koiche rahe koiche vairagya koiche bhojana. They would ask those returning from Vrindavan, how are Rupa and Sanatan doing in Vrindavan? What are their activities in the renounced order? How do they manage to eat? These were the questions asked. So actually Rupa and Sanatan holds a very, very, very special position in the heart of Chaitanya Mahāprabhu. And because of that, all the associates of Chaitanya Mahāprabhu also would be very merciful and affectionate towards Rupa and Sanatan. In fact, Srila Prabhupada says that we are all Rupanugas. We are followers in the footsteps of Rupa Gosvāmī. So he is actually the most prominent Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya because he converted all these instructions what Chaitanya Mahāprabhu gave. He wrote it down everything and he passed it on to the generations in Guru Shishya Parampara. Kaiche ashta prahar karen Shri Krishna bhajana tabe prashmasiya kahe sei bhakta gana. The Lord's associates would also ask, how is that Rupa Sanatan were engaging in devotional service 24 hours daily? At that time, the person who had returned from Vrindavan would praise Śrīla Rūpa and Sanatana Gosvāmī. Aniketa dunhe vane yata vriksha gana ek vrikshir tole ek ratri shayana. The brothers actually have no fixed residence. They reside beneath trees, one night under one tree and the next night under another. So they would not stay under the same tree for 2 consecutive days. Why? Because otherwise they'll become attached to the tree. So they were so detached. I mean, of course, they had given off all their wealth and possession and position. They were actually living under trees and that too different trees. Vipragrihe sthula bhikha kaha modhu kori sushka ruti chana chaiva bhoga parihari. Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī and Sanatana Gosvāmī beg a little food from the houses of Brahmanas. Giving up all kinds of material enjoyment, they take only some dry bread, some sushka roti, so no ghee on the roti, some dry roti and fried chickpea, some chana. So that is all what they would eat. Karunya matra hate kantha chenda bahir vasa Krishna katha Krishna nama nartana ullasa. They carry only water pots and they wear torn quilts. They always chant the holy names of Krishna and discuss his pastimes. In great jubilation, they also dance. Ashtaprahar Krishna bhajan chari danda shayane nama sankirtane seha nahi ko nadine. They engaged almost 24 hours daily in rendering service to the Lord. They usually sleep only an hour and a half, and sometimes when they continuously chant the Lord's holy name, they do not sleep at all. So not that we have to falsely start imitating and start sleeping less. This has naturally come to them such high level of renunciation because of such deep absorption. So that absorption is very important. Renunciation is the side product, the byproduct. It comes complementary. So they were so engaged in serving the Supreme Lord, in thinking about Him, in chanting His holy names, that they would forget even to sleep at times. Kabhu bhakti rasa shastra karaye likhana, Chaitanya katha shune kare Chaitanya chintana. Sometimes they write transcendental literatures about devotional service, and sometimes they hear about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and spend their time thinking about the Lord. So this is how they were spending their time, completely absorbed in the process of devotional service. Ei katha shuni mahantra, Ei katha shuni mahan tera mahashukaya, Chaitanyera krupaya he tahe ki vismaya. When the personal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would hear of the activities of Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, they would say, what is wonderful for a person who has been granted the Lord's mercy. So nothing is vismay, there is no surprise element here. Why? Because Chaitanyera kripahaya. So they have received the mercy of Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanyera kripa rupa likhaya chenapane, Rasamrita sindhu granther mangala charane. Sri Rūpa Gosvāmī has personally spoken about the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu in his auspicious introduction to his book Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So what Rūpa Gosvāmī has written? Although I am the lowest of men and have no knowledge, the inspiration to write transcendental literatures about devotional service has been mercifully bestowed upon me. Therefore, I am offering my obeisances at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has given me the chance to write these books. So Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu has glorified Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, has expressed his gratitude, and has mentioned very, very specifically and categorically that all what he is doing, all what he has done, everything is because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has given him the chance to write these books. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in the next section, we will see the actual teachings begin. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would be directly instructing Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī. So coming up, the nectar of devotion in the next chapter. So please, or the next section. So please be there for the next session, and we'll take your leave here, and we love to hear from each one of you. I personally read all your comments, so we request you to please enthusiastically participate in sharing your learning. So thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Jai Gosvāmī